This is the Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
Time to catch up with the legend of the AFL, Bob Murphy. What a champion he's been. Of course, he is the head of football operations and performance at the Dockers, and that's the first question I'm going to ask. Bob,
What do they do?
Operation performance. The performance isn't quite hitting the notes at the moment.
Sounds like you put on a show, Bob. Is that what happens?
Well, that's exactly right. I don't know what you know about football clubs, guys, but they often they perform and they operate to varying degrees. And look, I don't want to dodge the question at all, Shaun, because I know we've got our backs to the wall at the moment. I have had a bit of a title change, but just for argument's sake, let's just go with the previous title. But yeah, it's been you certainly know you're alive when you're in WA and working for the Dockers and you're 0-2. So this week is building up to be a bit of a fever pitch, and we can't wait. Like this is what you live for in footy, to answer the challenges. So yeah, we've certainly dug ourselves a little bit of a hole early in the season, but there's a long way to go. So we feel like we've got the troops to turn this thing around, and what better way to get it going than against the Eagles, the old foe.
Bob, we are, if anything, respected journalists, so we would like to actually get your new title right. What is your new title?
I'm head of leadership development and AFLW. So yeah, it's a bit of a mouthful. I prefer spiritual guidance.
Yes, just guru.
I did not hear the word performance there at all, Shaun. So it's not his problem.
That's right. I offered up head of vibe as well, but Peter Bell, he knocked that on the head, and so did the board, which is disappointing if I'm being honest.
Now, Bob, I said to Shaun yesterday, if a footy team lost 2 games in a row in the middle of a season, no one would bat an eyelid. Why? What do you reckon the reason for the panic stations just because you've lost the first 2 this year?
It's a very good point. I actually had a conversation with one of my neighbours this week around that very thing. I think it speaks to the power of the zero, the duck egg. When you're sort of stuck on anyone that's played any sort of level of cricket, when you're on zero, it does everything is sort of magnified a little bit. So we just need to get off the mark, and we're looking to do that against the Eagles this week. Hopefully with a glorious cover drive. But you know what? Take a French cut this weekend.
Oh, I would. Bob, the thing about the media which you brought up before, at the end of Adam Simpson's press conference when the Eagles won on the weekend, he made mention that if there's guys missing on the training track or if someone's just walking laps or whatever, you don't have to take a photo.
It's part of the plan.
They're having a day off. Yep. It's not a big story about it. Are you finding it getting more and more... I guess intense about what they're trying to put out there?
Well, I suppose being a former Victorian, I just put that on the record.
Yeah, you're out now.
It is a bit of a learning curve, not just this week, but just in terms of the 2-team town and the ferocity of the interest in footy over here, and it's exciting, but you can easily find yourself distracted. And quite seriously, one of the roles that I have and everyone in the footy club has at the moment, you want to give the players an even keel. You want to keep a level of equilibrium with emotions and behaviour and effort, because as soon as you start to ride the wave and start looking for things outside of the club and of your own planning and schedule, I think that's when you can start to lose your sea legs. If I could just crowbar another nautical thing in there as well. So,
and you did.
So really, that's what we'll have a look at the Eagles and what they've done in the first couple of rounds, and they've been pretty impressive, particularly last week. So they'll be up for it. We know that that's the tradition of Derby, you know that all too well, Shaun. So we have to get our own backyard in order, really. So, when you're zipping 2, it's probably more about what we what we can put our effort into, probably more so than looking across the park to the other mob.
The Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
Ben Affleck won't come to Australia in case he's accidentally photographed standing next to Chris Hemsworth, because that just makes him look too ordinary, and he's not happy about that.
It's pretty full on, because that means that J-Lo won't come with him as well.
Yeah, that's right. So
which
then
is
we miss
ridiculous.
out.
We miss out. Yeah,
Because of Chris Hemsworth.
And we're just talking about how having an insanely hot person in your life can affect you in a negative way. Hello, Ruby.
Hi,
So,
Ruby.
everybody, this is Ruby, of course, answers the phones, but she's the star of the early show.
The
with
Harry and
Ruby.
Ruby show.
So, yep, if you're up early, be listening.
Yeah. Has this happened to you, Ruby? Because you're actually very attractive.
So, no, on Hinge, the dating app,
Yes.
you put up your photos, people can reply to them in a prompt comment.
Yeah.
And it's good to have photos of you and friends on there,
To show that you've got friends.
Yeah, totally. Like, you can't just have five selfies. Like, it's a bit, And this guy replied to one of my photos the other week and said, "Oh, who's your mate on the left?" I'm like, this is actually my profile, but yeah, safe to say we didn't match.
What about you, Ruby? What about
It's difficult. It's difficult being in the shadow of
I
your
don't know
hot
her name,
friend.
but I'm on the right.
That's me.
Sam's in Belia. Morning, Sam.
Good morning.
Hey, Sam.
Did a hot person impact your life?
Mine's a bit of a double whammy. So I've got a younger sister, and she's absolutely drop dead gorgeous.
Oh.
Whenever we go out, would your mum like a drink too? Constantly getting
no!
Ouch.
ouch. I show people photos. They're like, "Oh my God, she's stunning. You guys really don't look anything alike."
Sam, you can't stop.
And then I've also
being her
got
sister.
yeah, it's not nice. And then my mum is a very young mum and is a complete MILF.
Yeah.
In high school, it was engraved in the table I sit at, Sam's mum's a MILF. Constantly get asked if we're sisters. And then to top it all off, she's now dating one of my 36-year-old friends who's the same age as me.
Your mum's
Sam.
amazing.
Well, yeah, maybe to you. No.
Sam.
And to your friend, apparently.
Sam.
That is amazing.
Oh, Sam, you're
Can I ask,
surrounded.
you know how you were mistaken as your sister's mother? What's the age difference between you and your sister?
11 years,
Yeah.
but
Oh, that's
come
not
on,
good.
I'm only
It's not
35.
enough.
Like,
Yeah, I know.
That's
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
good, is
Yeah.
it? You're not a mother.
I'm
tough.
sure you're all right too, Sam.
No, yeah,
Well,
but just
I hope
not as
so.
good as your sister and your
Yeah, I
mum.
know.
Or your mum, yeah, exactly. Thank you, Sam. That's hurtful.
I'm not
that
saying,
gets you.
I'm just here. putting it out.
Lisa's in Ocean Reef. Hello.
Good morning, how are you?
Good morning,
Lisa.
Lisa.
Has a hot person impacted your life?
It certainly has. So I'm one of 4 children. We all went to the same school. I was at my 20-year school reunion talking to a couple of the guys, and they were like, "Are you the police officer?" And I said, "No, I'm the nurse." And the other one said, "No, that's her sister. She's the hot one."
Oh,
Lisa.
yeah. That really gets
I mean,
you
they
there.
shouldn't say it right in front of you, should
No,
they?
no, wait till you
Have
turn
the
your
good
back.
grace to
Right
do it when
to
you
my
go to the
face,
bar or
we're at my
something.
whole school reunion.
Yeah.
Sweetheart.
Yeah.
You know
Well,
what?
you're hot adjacent,
Hot
so that's
siblings.
Gotta count.
Like hot
I know,
siblings.
because when it's a friend
It's
or
so
like
mean
you can,
of
or a
your
workmate, you can
parents.
get rid of them. But when it's a sibling, you're stuck with them for the rest of your life, being hotter than
My
you.
brother was considerably hotter than me, and I just always looked at mum and dad like, that's on you. What did you do on the night you created me
And
to make
they're
this?
different.
Don't
They
try that
stirred the
position
muddy end of
again.
the gene
Like,
pool.
yeah, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
that's really mean.
Michelle's in Caramar. Hi, Michelle.
Hi, guys. How are you?
Good, Michelle.
Michelle, we're just sitting over here not being hot. How about you?
So a long time ago, this is my parents and my mum and her best friend Joyce were on a bus one night going into the city.
Yeah.
And there was 2 hot guys upstairs on the bus, and one of them wanted to go out with Joyce, who was a really good-looking guy.
Yeah.
My mum talked them out of, or talked her out of going out with this guy because my mum didn't want to get stuck with the ugly guy.
Yes.
And it turned out that it was John Lennon and Paul McCartney.
No way.
Really?
Okay.
Michelle.
So which
who's
was
the
the
ugly
ugly
one?
guy? Was John Lennon
say
the
John
ugly
Lennon.
one?
John Lennon was the ugly one.
Yeah.
John
I
Lennon
think
was
so.
the ugly
Lennon.
one.
Yeah, I would think
Yeah,
so.
and
I think so.
Yeah.
Joyce never forgave my mum for talking her out of it.
Yes. So Joyce could have hooked up with Paul McCartney and your mum would have been lumbered
could have
with John Lennon.
Mate,
Yeah,
there you go.
that's the
Another
story,
episode
yeah.
of Joyce's Choices.
Yeah, I know, exactly. That's an amazing story, Michelle.
That's great.
Amazing.
This is the Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
At the moment, we're talking about when you thought something was dead, but it turned out to not be dead, inspired by spiders that can hold their breath underwater and survive for 30 hours.
Yeah. Tell your friends.
Ryan from Butler, hello.
How are you?
Hey,
Ryan.
Ryan. Okay, talk to us about what you thought was dead, but definitely wasn't.
I used to do remote area driving up north, right? So I'd be hours and hours down these little dirt tracks and rah. And I come down this one track, right, and there's in this sheep station. and I like come down around this sort of sweep and bend in the truck, and I had to slow down because there's this big ball of something, you know? So I jumped out. And it was like a big sheep, a ram or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So I jump out. And I start walking, I'm thinking, I'll have to drag him off, you know? And there's no real flies. There's a couple of flies hanging off the back. So I start walking over. Next minute, this thing gets up. And I just, I'm trying not to swear, right?
Yeah, right.
And,
yes.
and it just comes straight for me. So all I knew to do, I just grabbed onto its horns things, you know? And it's like, it's smashed me in the chest. I've like sort of winded myself, and it's like dragging me along with my legs dragging along down beside it. I just let go, and this thing just runs over the top of me into the bush, and I like just see this cloud of dust. I've never seen it again, and you know, to this day I was like, is he okay?
Did you think perhaps that you'd imagined that after that happened, Ryan?
Oh man, I just thought to myself, like, you know, at least take me on a date. You know?
Before you ran me.
Ryan, did you have any dash cam? Because normally if you're travelling in those cars, did you have anything?
No, because the dash cams, we could never work out how to get them to work properly.
Probably for the best.
My
anyway.
favourite part of that
video.
story was he said the sheep ran over him and ran to the bush, and I never saw it again. I never saw it again. Like, it could have come back 2 years
so that's
later
right.
to check on me.
But no, it ghosted you. Thank you, Ryan. That was
so
a
funny.
great story. Hi, Jen.
Oh, hi.
Oh, my gosh,
Much
Jenny.
better.
Go.
Okay. So to put into context, my partner did work for Parks and Wildlife, so this is not the sort of thing that you should probably do, but we were up in the Kimberley and we were in a river fishing, which is known for its giant saltwater crocodiles.
Yes.
So we'd seen one we'd been watching for about half an hour that was bloated and sort of bobbing along in the water but up near the bank. So, of course, we thought, oh, well, we'll keep fishing and then we'll just come back. But people like to cut the heads off crocodiles and use their skulls as trophies. So we were quite concerned somebody might do that.
Yeah.
So you wanted to get in
course.
first.
Well, yes, of course, we wanted the trophy first, of course. Yes, no, yes. But so we'd circled it a few times. It didn't move. We sort of, flashed it, things like that. Nothing happened. So we'll go fishing, come back in a couple of hours and see if it's still there. Sure enough, came back a couple of hours and it was.
Oh.
So circle closer, nothing. And then, of course, I thought, oh, this is all right. We'll get the oar out from the boat and we'll actually poke it.
Yeah, give it a prod. Good idea.
Oh, of course,
It's always best to poke something. Yes.
Always poke the bear. So, of course, yes, leaning over the front of the boat, going to poke the crocodile, and, of course, it was not dead. It lashed in huge splash, and I'm talking a giant, 5-meter crocodile.
Oh, my God.
I've ever seen. Yeah. And I swear it must have had a cow in its gut because it was so big.
Yes.
So that's why it couldn't
No,
move.
it just ate some gluten. That's what happens. You
That's
bloat
right.
terribly.
And speaking as a celiac, I totally agree with that. But yes, boat in reverse, me on the front of the boat, children on board, finally fell over the front with the giant crocodile, chasing us. We did not speak to each other in the boat for about 45 minutes. We just went up the river as fast as we could. And then we finally stopped and went, that was really, really
Can
stupid.
I just say,
really
and
hectic.
you know what? We all laugh about it, but it is always best to poke something with a stick first.
Yeah.
It really
That's
is.
true.
It is.
That's true.
It is.
really is.
Louise is in Murdoch. Good morning, Louise.
Good morning. How are you?
Okay. All right. What did you think was dead but turned out to not be?
So my father-in-law is in Ireland and absolutely lives his life for the death notices. He loves to check them daily, loves to go to funerals, that's his thing. So he's away on holiday and gets notice that one of his friends has passed away. So brings everyone home from holiday. Oh dear, so gets everyone back home, hops in the car, heading up to the funeral to the local church, and is driving up the road and drives past the man whose funeral
He was going to.
But it was in the paper.
So he stops the car and he gets out and he goes, "Hey, you're dead." And he's like, "I'm not dead. It's not my funeral. They've got the completely wrong person," and he's driven all the way home to go to his funeral.
But your dad, he had the taste of a funeral in his mouth.
I know. You know what he should have done was he should have poked him with a stick.
Oh, my
when
He was ready for sandwiches and a cup of tea at the church.
Oh, Louise.
Nathan, Nat, and Sean podcast.
Sunday's Western Derby bounce down to 3:20 at Optus. Be there to cheer your team home with Bankwest.
No way. Be there to cheer our man on.
No.
Yeah.
Well, is he part of our team, Nathan?
I don't know. This is my point and my problem with you.
Sean Darcy.
Okay, Sean.
Yep. All right.
So, read the Darcy's barbecue. It was on the news last night.
Back page of the paper.
Teammates all invited over to your barbecue. Now, it's so strange because we are teammates.
Yep.
And we were not there.
And I live literally around the corner.
I gave you guys a buzz.
No, you did not.
Picked up.
So
I was wondering. I was
weird.
really
You
confused.
got a private number?
Yeah.
Well, okay, we thought you were
no
someone
caller
chasing a
ID.
bill.
How good's your barbecue that you're the one that invited everybody over? Like,
Oh yeah, I'm not the greatest barbecue, but I think Corey Wagner, my housemate, really loves getting on the barbecue. So
okay, right.
he chefed up.
I'm just confused as to why I wasn't invited. Who out of all your friends knows sausages more than me?
You've got a point. Great point there, don't you?
Yeah.
I mean, feel free to name one of your friends.
He loves the snagger. He loves the snagger.
All right, so what was on offer? Did you provide the meat? Was it BYO? Tell me everything.
Salads? Did you get a caterer? What happened?
Go.
No, we just me, my housemate, and his fiance decided to just get the boys around, partners included as well, to just stay together. So we, I think my housemate's fiance cooked up some souvlakis, which were nice, and
Yeah, I love a souvlaki.
nice.
some snags as well, which was
What
yeah.
was it? Just like was it a thick or a thin sausage? Was it a flavoured sausage?
important to Nathan.
What was it?
Was it your basic barbecue sausage?
basic barbecue.
A
sausage.
basic.
Where'd you
okay.
get the meat from?
Coles.
All right. So there was no
Well, it's close,
there was no seafood on the barbecue,
No
which is
seafood.
weird because football money. What bread did you use? Was it just cheap white bread? Did you
Cheap
go
white
for a
bread.
cheap white?
Wow, you went bare basic.
There was about
It sounds like you would have had.
40
Yeah, there would have been more than. That's a lot of people.
I thought the reason you invite the partners is so they bring a plate. Is that the way it works?
No, they didn't rock up with the plate.
Coleslaw,
No coleslaw.
potato salad.
Potato salad.
Potato salad.
Was it Coles potato salad?
Store bought. Store bought. That no, Sean.
Come on, it was my first time.
Oh.
I've just moved into the house. I'm just getting used to all this
Yeah,
house
okay.
warming.
Well, you've gone in hard,
Yeah.
is what we're saying. If you had it, well, when you invite us around,
Yeah.
we've got high standards.
All right,
We have,
done.
so we're
So,
talking
no?
seafood.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
we'll-
I know
we'll
that.
bring a plate.
I'll
Like,
get
we're
some
pretty
lobster
good.
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So we're 0-2 to start the season.
Yeah.
Oh, Sean, don't bring it up.
Oh my God,
Sean, way to
That's
ruin the
true.
We're not
mood.
talking about meat
We're
and
not doing a
salads.
cooking section.
Jeez, mate. It's so sorry, Sean.
We're trying to look after it.
Things aren't going as planned there, Darcy. A lot of people are up and about. A lot of noise coming from the East Coast. A lot of noise coming from the media about top 4 positions gone. Could ruin the season this whole after this week, round 3. Where do you sit on that?
Yeah, look, we're not playing football that we're happy with, so we're really frustrated, and all the noise is fair. We create high standards for ourselves, and we haven't lived up to it. Our first 2 games have been really disappointing, so yeah, we're really frustrated too. So the only thing we can really do right now is train really hard and try to turn it around as quickly as possible.
Darcy,
tried to- oh, sorry, Nat.
I was just going to say, well, the result, it could have been 1-1. Let's face it, it was that line ball decision at the end of the game. What was it to you at the time? How were you across what was happening, or?
Oh, yeah, it's pretty hard in that time of the
Yeah.
period in the game. The crowd's going too, so you can't really hear the sirens. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I was in the goal square and I had no idea. Moose walked over and had a conversation, but I was long gone. I was pretty annoyed that we lost.
Yeah.
Yeah, it certainly wasn't
So
a wrong
close.
decision. I'm not sure.
No,
if it had
it's
gone either
line
way,
ball.
it doesn't
Yes, that's
matter.
right. It was a flip of the coin.
Yeah, and the fact that the umpires actually knew the rule that no one else seemed to know is a win. That's for sure. There is a lot of heat getting on the performances of the team. Where can you try too hard? Because you would have had these conversations.
Yeah, I think that's an element of what we're doing. We're trying to be a little bit too perfect, as you can tell. So the last 8 minutes was probably our best patch of footy that we played, and that wasn't perfect. It was really scrubby. It's really just get the ball moving forward, go after them. So I think we are, just trying to overcomplicated it a little bit too much, not play on instinct as much. So
so we're just kick it forward, eh?
Yeah, we're going to strip it back and have a go at it this week and just get after the ball, get after the man, and play on instinct.
Just going to get off football for a second and talk about your beautiful voice. As you can hear, everybody, he's got the Hemsworths about him, both visually and audible.
You get that a bit, do you?
And audible. When did your voice drop for the first time? What year was that? Year 3? When was this?
I reckon it was, when I went to secondary school, so year 6, year 7.
Year 6, year 7.
So you turned up to high school with that voice. That's extraordinary.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Could you ring people and pretend to be someone's parent to get them out of things around that age?
Or into things?
Into things, probably more.
Yeah.
Oh, you like getting into things.
And so when you were going from primary school to high school, how tall were you when your voice dropped?
I grew a bit that
summer.
So,
it was a big summer for you.
How did you fit into that world? Because when I was in year 7, I grew so quick, so much in at the end of year 6 into year 7 that I'd have a teacher's desk in year 7. So the teacher had their desk at the front. Mine was mirrored in there at the back, and I had a filing cabinet.
That was still
everything.
primary school.
That was primary school.
Yeah, he had a moustache and everything.
Did you have to?
Yeah, I got a bigger desk.
You got a bigger desk.
Yeah.
Where'd they get that from? Was that just like a trestle table?
Bigandtalldesks.com, obviously.
I think so.
Bigkids.com. Yeah. And now I just want to quickly go back to sorry, Sean. Quickly go back to your barbecue.
Personal interview.
You've got
we're back on it.
Yeah. There was partners invited. Did you have anyone there?
No, I didn't.
No. Did you have anyone that you thought you could call?
No.
So there was no.
So he's still available, ladies.
Okay. There you go,
Still
girls.
available.
There you go, girls. There you go. He's got the Hemsworth.
You get on,
Do you
get on the apps?
Is
Do you
Liam
get on the
single?
apps?
No, not on the apps.
No.
Just checking.
No.
We've had that discussion this morning, actually, with Luke McGregor. He's a comedian. He's in a lot of shows.
Yeah.
And Nathan and Nat don't go on the apps at all. Would you feel like you shouldn't be on an app?
Because you're too famous.
You've got a profile.
Too famous to be on an app.
Look, I'm not going to lie. I've been on the app before.
You have which
a few
one?
of them, both majority of them. But
just
that was when I was a bit younger.
Find one. He hasn't been on.
You're very innocent, man.
I was a bit younger then, so now I don't.
Yeah. Now you find more success just writing your name directly on toilet doors and your number.
You always get a bite there. Sean, the Derby we haven't spoken about. It's important to get on the right track.
For sure.
On paper, you would think that with the talent level that you've got, you should be winning this game, but it's not going to be as simple as that, the way things are going.
No, derbies are always heated too, so no matter the talent level, they're always really, really contested-based games, so it's really physical. So the first quarter we've got to be on. Our contests and our mids have to be on. I think we lost a lot of the clearances last week. So
you said a bounce. What happened there, mate?
Yeah, I think we're overcomplicating it a little bit too much. We're getting on the move a little bit. So we need to get back to probably just the really stock standard way that we were doing it last year. We've had a lot of conversations this week that have been really not heated, but
spirited.
Yeah, let's call it spirited. But they've been really good for us.
Does anyone blame you because you are the biggest?
We're
then
all
you can beat them up. You know what I mean?
We're all into blame.
Like that.
It's a midfield versus midfield, so everyone's into blame. So we need to fix it, and off we go this week.
Yeah. Well, good luck, mate. Look forward to it.
Very diplomatic.
Just another question. Back page of the paper, everyone can check out Sean in a Dockers apron with a barbecue.
Photoshopped, obviously.
So that has been photoshopped, yes?
Oh, yes.
Okay, I just didn't know if you actually, for some reason, was posing with a plate of meat and some tongs.
Funny, do you like
that? Yeah. No, it's interesting. We're getting to know you more. Yeah. I mean, we could get him to know even more if we were invited to his house.
Yeah, we've put the picture up on our socials so you can enjoy it for yourself.
Next time.
It's on its way. Good luck, Sean.
If you'd like Sean to catch your eye, make a sign for the for the game.
In the crowd.
He's single, ladies. He's single.
He is ready
and there's
to
a lot
mingle.
of him.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
We're here to help.
It's the Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
One of the things that a lot of women out there and men aspire to is having a luxury brand bag.
Yep.
But they're
so expensive,
thousands and thousands of dollars. And I've always thought, is it worth it? Well, we've got a guy that's joining us right now who does something that would make most women and men that want these bags scream in pain. He rips them apart to tell us if they are well made or well worth the money or not.
He's a truth teller.
Joins us right now. Hello, Vulcan.
Hello.
Oh,
Hello. So
Thanks for
your
having me here.
account's Tanner Leatherstein, and you basically rip these luxury bags apart. I mean, it's a bit devastating to see it happen. Do you feel bad when you're ripping them apart?
Well, initially I was feeling a little bit bad, and I keep seeing these comments in the posts. People say, well, I was literally crying or screaming as you were cutting it. But I think I got used to it now, unless it is something that I really like, it's extreme value I find in it. It doesn't feel bad to cut it open at this time. I become numb to it.
Well, Vulcan, you've got some big labels that you're
Yes.
doing this to. I guess first question, do you pay for these yourself? Because that's expensive
Yes,
stuff
indeed.
you're ripping apart.
Yes, that's true. And I was kind of worried about the financial impacts of this project as well recently. But, I started to see it as building an audience on the social media. It's a cost. It's an investment. That's how I'm looking at it. I'm not making money off of it directly yet.
Yep.
But let's see what happens in the future.
I have to tell you, one of my very, very, very good friends is sick for these products, to the point where when him and his wife go into the store, they're taken into the private room.
Oh.
That's how much they spend here.
Yep.
And I told him about the Louis Vuitton and what you found out about that. And it's actually made him second guess and second think about spending so much money. So can you tell us about what you've taken apart from Louis Vuitton and how much money it has actually gone into it, and how much labour costs have gone into it, and what it's being sold for?
So I have done a bunch of Louis Vuitton things. One was a very typical briefcase made with their coated canvas, not even leather.
Yes.
And that was about like a $1,700 bag. That was the first project I did when I came up with this idea. So even if that bag was made in leather, my estimate was around like $170 to $200,
Whoa.
including leather and labor.
Whoa.
So I'm not accounting for any other costs, right? Yeah. And again, the idea was to help people understand the quality of the leather and, complexity of the construction, because sometimes people automatically assume it's so expensive, it must be because of leather. It must be really good. And because leather is a luxury item, probably that's why it costs so much. Well, that's not true. Leather is not cheap, but not that expensive either. So whatever you're paying for on those brands is the prestige and the status engineered around the product. And leather is a good item to engineer a luxury around it. So that's what I'm trying to show here.
It's brilliant marketing, isn't it? That's the thing that's selling us. But Vulcan, on that, what's the most expensive thing that you've pulled apart, Brandon, and how much would it be really worth?
The most expensive bag was, I think, Bottega so far. $2,500, an Arco Mini tote or handbag.
Yeah.
And that was around like $250. I'm not wrong, if I'm not wrong, remembering the leather and labor cost. I came up for that. And, I shouldn't be too far off. I have my own leather brand. I do these things, and I kind of have an understanding of the labor costs and the leather costs in these countries they make these bags in.
Sure.
So it's usually like 10 to 20 times of what I find in leather labor is the price tag you're paying on the high-end luxury. And I have a Louis Vuitton never full tote that I'm going to cut in this week or next week. That's going to be the most expensive one so far.
How much?
$3,000.
Okay.
And is that $3,000 US?
Yeah, you're talking US dollars, yeah.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
Birkin bags. We all know about Birkin bags. They're like, probably minimum $300,000, which is absolutely. You'll never probably buy a Birkin bag to rip one apart, and you'll have to be invited to buy those bags as well, Shaun. Are we thinking that just from your knowledge of those bags that we're talking about the same sort of money and craftsmanship and labour costs that go into one of them as well?
Exactly. So if you go to my channels, there is some discussions with some craftsmen who does this stuff, who worked at Hermes before.
Yes.
Got pretty good insights last week. We published some videos, and Birkin, let's say the regular leathers, the cowhide leather versions may start from 20, 30 grand. I think, I don't even know where you can find the price because as you said, you can't even go buy one. You have to play all these games to be shown one first and then get the privilege to get the bag.
Nathan, Nat and Shaun in podcast form.
We are talking midlife crises inspired by, not Shaun, he's a great example, but not
Thank
Shaun.
you, I'm not a great example.
Reese Witherspoon and her husband Jim Toth, apparently some of the issues, according to a source, that caused them to divorce was the fact that he was going through a midlife crisis, getting tattoos, wearing chunky gold jewellery.
Weird jewellery.
Yeah.
It's not too good, is it? Let's go to Colin in Cloverdale. Hello, Colin.
Hello, guys. How you going?
Good, Colin. Who is having the midlife crisis, Colin?
No, I'm not, but there are severe accusations out there.
Okay, let's hear it, Colin. Let's hear it.
Go, Cole.
Denial. No, we had to buy a second car. We were a one-car family. I'm 52 and my wife's 34.
Yep.
So her choice was, prominent in what we were going to do for the car. So we bought a Mini Cooper S 2005 convertible, blue. Yeah. And occasionally my wife uses my car for things like picking up groceries and everything like that. But every time I have to drive her car to work, my workmates are all looking at me like I'm having a midlife crisis.
Let's dissect this. A midlife crisis, so a man in a Mini Cooper. Do you think that translates to a midlife crisis?
Well, it's a convertible.
Oh, it's a convertible.
Maybe that's it. It's the convertible part that gets everybody.
It's the roof off.
Look, the gold necklace and the blonde hair don't help.
Great self-awareness.
And they're always talking about the TikTok.
Colin. Good work, Colin. Thank you. Tracy's in Clarkson. Hello.
Oh, good morning. How are you guys?
Good, Trace. Can you relate to Reese Witherspoon? Can you, Trace?
Well, it was my ex-husband had a midlife crisis. At the age of 40, the house wasn't good enough, so we got a bigger, better house. Yeah. Car wasn't good enough, got a bigger car, better car. That still wasn't good enough. We went on an overseas European vacation. Wasn't good enough. Yeah. Come home from overseas and he went, hang on a minute. You're the one that's not good enough. I don't love you anymore.
Oh. Wish you had got there sooner because he spent a fortune and all the other stuff.
But then again,
you could have got more money.
At least you got a nice holiday beforehand.
Yeah. Okay,
did you get so once everything was divvied up, did you come out all right on top?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah. But money's not everything.
No, that's true.
No,
that's
it
true.
isn't
Trace, did he trade you in for a younger model or anything like that?
Just slightly, yeah.
Oh, was it a convertible?
Yeah, top off for sure, Sean.
Sean.
The top was off.
Yeah, knew it.
Thanks, Tracy. John's in Pearsall. Hello.
How you going?
Good, John.
John, are you going through a midlife crisis, do you think?
Not John.
Yeah, I'm going through a painful midlife crisis.
Oh, tell us, John.
Talk us through it.
I've got a hairy chest and a hairy back. And I started shaving just a little bit, and then eventually I did the whole front, got my kids to shave the back.
Got your kids to shave the back?
Yeah.
With the whippersnapper.
No, those kids have stories to tell about the day they had to sit down and shave down Dad.
I told them not to say nothing when they go to school.
Of course.
Yeah.
Silent.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I started the shaving. Then that was really itchy, and I thought, what's a better way to do it so I don't have to shave all the time? Then I went waxing. I went once to waxing.
Yeah.
That was pain.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then everyone's like, oh, you got to go laser. Laser's the best way.
Yes.
I went, oh, okay. So I went in. I paid for a year for laser because it's $100 a month.
That's like putting a down payment on the Death Star.
Yes,
John.
it is.
Yeah.
I thought it was just one treatment and that's it.
No.
So I go in there and my God, it's like cooking eggs on the back. It was killing.
Really?
Yeah, because it's
so I still got another 8. I got another 8 visits.
Oh,
and I cry. I cry on the way there and I cry on the way back.
Well, you're living a young man's game right now, John.
It's like I've had IPL on my face for skin rejuvenation, and it feels like you're being stuck. Like imagine somebody getting a lucky band and pulling it back and snapping it against you repeatedly, and obviously your back and your front is a much bigger surface area.
Well, I've started gym. So when I go to the gym outside and run with the guys, they're all running with big tattoos and muscles and everything, and I'm running with like a massive red mark on my back and front. And it's beautiful running because the wind cools the back down. I'm just smiling as I'm running. They're smiling because they look good. I'm smiling because I'm in happy pain.
Hey, John, can I know what age are you at that you're...
I'm 43 and I look like Godzilla, gorillas from the waist down.
So John, in the short time that you've been doing it, has it been worth it, do you think? Do you feel better when the pain goes?
I want my hair back.
Your hair back. John, do you have
it's warm in the winter.
Do you have a partner in your life?
I do have a partner.
What is she saying about the transformation?
She just avoids me at all costs.
How long you been together for, John?
15 years.
Yeah, I think
she
it started
married the
about
hairy
10.
guy. Do you know what I mean?
The hairy guy. Well, he's still hairy from the waist down, apparently. You can imagine those centaurs that are like man on the top and a goat down the bottom.
Legs.
This is a podcast of Nathan, Nat and Shaun.
Maggie Dent is in the house and she is here to help. Matt from Dayton's called in. Good morning, Matt.
Good morning, team. How are we?
Good,
wonderful, Matt.
Hi, Matt.
Now,
what's happening?
What sort of help do you need from Maggie?
So my son is a little bit under 2 years old, so we're starting to enter the terrible twos with tantruming. Something that I've noticed, that my wife and I have noticed, is he will launch his head backwards and forwards into walls and the floor with quite a lot of velocity, and so thankfully he's already proven he's got a bit of a hard head. But we're just a little bit concerned about
his head.
Is there a way that we can be sort of combating that and trying to support him not losing any brain cells?
Yeah. Oh, look, Matt, this is a really common thing, and you've got a little boy there, and you know that physicality, they often get so frustrated as toddlers because they don't often have words to describe things, and their big feelings come out through their body movements. So now you've identified this, you've just got to kind of be like a CSI detective and keep tuning into when it looks like he's going to lose his you-know-what, so that you're nearby, because what he's got is this is just now his immediate impulse is to go into throwing backwards, whereas others, run out on a road, others bang their head forwards, others just punch and kick and bite and scratch.
God, so how many parents are walking around with split lips?
Look, seriously, this is a really volatile window, and it's hard for them as well as the parents. Yeah. So I just think I'd have an awful lot of cushions around your house. Awful lot of cushions.
Just your house will be right, Shaun.
But also, be ready for that movement, because, like I said, he will gradually. I would probably encourage him to do a lot more screaming. I know it sounds, probably don't want it that, but teach him how to really scream out that big cortisol out of the body. And he will move through that phase, and he'll move into another one, probably kicking. So, like I said, totally normal, totally impulse. He's not planning it. It's just happening. And that's often what happens with our toddlers. They're just not coping with their world at that point.
Matt, would you rather head-butting or kicking?
We get a bit of kicking as well.
Oh, congratulations.
I'm just concerned about the loss of brain cells.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, no, you're right. But they do have. There's another thing about when they're bumping into things, like with their head and their legs and things, they're actually working out where their head finishes, like proprioceptive awareness. So he's going to actually probably not have as many incidents with bumping with his head later, because he's already worked it out.
Oh, that's good news.
He's working out where his head finishes.
Yeah, no, it's called proprioceptive awareness. That's why they often bruise themselves and fall over. So he's sorting out his head.
His boundaries.
Around his head.
There's your silver lining, Matt.
What about a sombrero? There you go. And then, because that'll, that's
a helmet would be great, but you can't get it on.
It's like social distancing for his own head.
A pool noodle around his head.
Yeah, good luck. Because it happens so spontaneously. You get the wrong colour cup out and it's done.
Sure, yeah, that's true.
Thanks, Matt.
Good luck, Matt.
Let's go to Ali in Mount Hawthorn. Hi, Ali.
Hey, how you going?
Good, Ali.
Here's Maggie. What's your question?
Hey, Maggie. I've got a 4-year-old boy, and he is really not liking going to kindy at the moment. He's making it really difficult with drop-off. He cries and he screams and he pulls and just makes it really, really hard. I know he's going through a huge emotional development thing. I've read all of your posts. But looking for some advice.
So when's his birthday? Is that kindy and he's 4? That means he must be late in the year. Is that correct?
Yeah, he's October.
Righto, yeah. So you do know that, a 4-year-old boy is biologically wired just to run around and be really feral. and not have to sit on mats and, not have to try and listen to people and not shove his mate on the floor and hold his penis, and then he probably got a poo that's due. There's a lot of stress.
This sounds like Shaun coming to work.
There's a lot happening for your little 4-year-old, again, that I keep on saying. Sometimes
Shaun, let go of your penis.
they often need a little more
you hold it for
time.
me
But
then?
in that space, I want you to, the things that make them feel safer, it can often, that connection to the main, educator. Does he like his educator? Does he speak about her or him in a positive way? No,
sort of.
Yeah. No, it's not.
You would know.
Yeah,
it's
so
emotional.
one of them, yeah.
So the one that's safest, please have a chat to them and just say, look, it's not going so good. Can you make a bit more of that? Smile when you see him, high five him, high punch him on the arm, and make a bit more of a connection, because we know that when relational safety, particularly for boys who don't always have good words and who struggle to cope with all the other rules, if they've got one growing up whose face lights up, it lowers their stress level so much that they might like it. And the second thing is, does he have a little mate, or do we have a couple of friends? Because the friendship issue, that can make up for the fact that he still struggles to do the things that is required of him. And I've got an audio if he's not good at that too. It's called I'm a Good Friend. So that actually teaches them how to say hello and how to play and how to wait sometimes and not lose it. So, you're absolutely right. He's 4 and it's not his favourite place. He'd prefer to be home. Really?
Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
It is the Western Derby this week, and of course, that means West Coast play Fremantle. West Coast, the form team. And champion player, premiership player, still round legend, Jeremy McGovern joins us.
Hello, Jeremy McGovern.
How are we? It's Nathan, Nat and Gov today.
Yeah, it is.
Mate, the way it should be. You've walked in with a present for Natalie's birthday.
Yes,
what did you bring her?
I bought her some scratchies.
Yeah, you
And
did.
this is so good. A fistful. So you've given me 2 $5 scratchies.
Yeah.
And one's for Year of the Rabbit. That's a bit of fun.
And did you get
then-
heaps with a
then
picture of a cow on them?
Five
Yeah,
$1.
they
It's
look-
because it's quick moolah, Nathan.
Yeah,
Moolah.
there's nothing worse than taking too long on a scratch. You just want to get straight
Yeah,
to
just
the point,
get
don't you
straight
know
into
if
it.
you've won?
Some of them now you have to read the thesis
I
on
know,
the back
it's
about
a
what
lot.
it means.
I don't really know. I'm scratching, but I don't really know what's happening.
The worst thing is, Jeremy McGovern, of course, like lovely man, but walks
got
in
football money.
completely ill-prepared, giving you scratches with nothing to scratch it. So
Yeah,
then we
that's
all
right.
had to clamber around looking for a coin.
Yeah.
Got a coin
So
in
then
there.
I realise I have a coin, and then you start bullying me.
Yeah, no one really has coins these days. It's all
Lucky
card,
I did.
isn't
And
it?
what did I get my coin out of?
Your wallet.
Your coin
That
purse.
looks like. I don't know. That's a suitcase actually, with all your documents from your whole life in it. I don't know.
I don't know why I keep some receipts.
Why do you-
I don't know. Just sometimes when I buy things, I just shove it in there, and I don't know whether I need it or not.
Your account-
I never use my wallet.
Well, your wallet begs to differ.
yeah,
It's
it doesn't.
jammed
Just
packed full of
What is
receipts.
this? This is like receipts. of
Those poor
different-
trees. Look at that.
I've got money in here.
Oh, there's actually money.
Oh, my God.
Oh,
I've
big
got
dog.
50,
Watch out.
100. I've got $150 in my wallet. No, I've got $170.
Do you know how
in my
much Sean
wallet.
would be crying
There
about
you
that?
go.
That you've got cash in your wallet and no thieving
didn't
child has
even know
taken
it.
it and you were oblivious to its
Yeah, I know.
existence.
God,
I didn't win anything on the first one, everyone.
Oh,
It's got wheels as well, so you can wheel it around. It's that heavy.
Yeah, shut up. Oh, let's talk about your wallet, mate.
No, I just
Hey,
run
they don't
a
write
card on my
articles about
phone.
how much I get paid.
Maybe they should. I think they should.
So have you signed again? There was a bit of chatter around you.
Yeah, we're not far off. Yeah, we're
nice.
I'm looking to stay. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you're not going anywhere.
No, I've never wanted to. So hopefully in the coming weeks, and we'll get it done for sure.
Good man. Now, before we talk about this week, let's talk about last week because, geez, it's good to get the W, isn't it? It
Yeah, it
just feels better. A bit of pressure off.
Yeah, a little bit of pressure off, but yeah, it's good to get the win for sure. We've it's been a fair while between drinks, but more importantly, I was just proud that the boys played some good footy. That's
It was
what we've been trying
great
to do.
footy, and there was some real breakthroughs, I reckon. Jermaine Jones had a breakout game, I reckon. Just his run out of the back was unbelievable.
Yeah, he did. He sort of flirted with that,
Wasn't it, Nathan?
throughout his career. But it was good. It was good that he put a good performance together, and so did a lot of players.
Jake
did.
Waterman was great.
Yeah, a lot of boys stood up, and that's what you need to win games. So it was good science.
Do you have a little winning ritual that you like a little well done, mate thing that you gift yourself if
Me?
you win a game?
Yeah.
Like a little we'll have something fun to eat or or anything? Nothing?
No, not really.
Nothing.
Business
It's normal,
as
even
usual.
if it's just.
Oh,
even if
did
it's
you
a
used
loss.
to and you've forgotten?
Yeah, I did.
Ouch. Ouch. Remember when you broke your ribs? Did that hurt more?
Nathan, you are close to getting hit today.
Don't worry, I've got my wallet to defend myself with. Come on, try and get me.
Yeah, that'd be bulletproof. That.
Yeah, exactly. Now, obviously, it's the Derby this weekend.
Yes.
There's a lot of hate, and the pressure is all on Freo. Like their season has been written off after just 2 losses, which seems a bit extreme.
Yeah. I think everyone's jumping the gun a bit on this season. Who would have thought Geelong would be 0-2?
Yeah.
They were the premiers last year, and Saints are 2-0, and the whole comp's nuts. You see the
North are
Bulldogs
2-0.
knocked over Brisbane last night, so. All pressure's on Freo for sure. Pressure on everyone, I think, in the whole comp. Everyone needs to play well each week at the moment, but it should be a good game. It's lined up to be a big one, I think. So hopefully we can get the chockies.
That's fantastic.
Any football questions, Nathan?
Nah, not one.
Yeah,
not one at all. They're rethinking the whole wallet situation.
Harry just showed his. That's his wallet, which is like three credit cards thick.
Yeah, but you
wallet.
carry that. This is always permanently just in my bag. And I never use it because I pay with everything on my watch. But I get it.
Well, then what have you got it for?
What?
Why are
If
you
pay
carrying
with
it?
everything on your watch? What do you got that for?
Yeah, he makes it
Because I need the physicalness of the cards to live somewhere. You can't just live on, there could be a solar flare today. And then what?
Just put them in your drawer at home.
Well, yeah, but this isn't a drawer at home.
Oh,
It was in my bag.
That's a portable drawer.
It's not. It's in your hand.
You've got a chest of drawers there that you carry around. It's a chest of drawers.
Nathan, Nat and Shaun is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcasts.com.au. Nova.